The crypto gaming sector has seen its fair share of big names and big industry giants coming into the space over the course of its history. But this past week, we actually saw one of the biggest stamps of approval from honestly, an organization that is at the forefront of the gaming landscape entering the space. I'm going to go over what this means, the stamp of approval that this could bring to other big companies in the gaming landscape, that Web3 is here to stay. And then we're going to go over the altcoins. So we've been diving deep. We have some really good winners so far, actually, in the gaming sector over the course of the last few weeks as we played into the off the grid narrative. I'm going to go over a couple other positions that are doing well, as well as some undervalued tokens. I still think you have a good opportunity at DCAing at these levels. So let's go ahead, jump right into it. If you're new to the channel, drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe for more every single day here on the In The Game channel. We're pushing for 100K subs. If you could help us out down below, smash the subscribe and tell your friends where you're getting all of your crypto gaming alpha. As well, big shout out to all of our sponsors here on In The Game. We actually have Ledger on me. We have Unioverse. We have Moon Tropica and NordVPN. Shout out to all of our sponsors. You can find more down below in the description. So let's jump into it. Honestly, if we take a look here, over the last couple of days, I believe my last show was Thursday, and on my birthday, on the 23rd, actually, we had a massive pump heading into the 22nd and then the 23rd, and we got up to about 64.5, and we're kind of hovering around those ranges. I'm pretty bullish on where we're sitting right now. I mentioned on the last show, too, that, you know, us trading sideways around that 60,000 level was actually pretty bullish. And if we keep maintaining these levels slowly but surely, I'm feeling very bullish about the price action that we are getting. And honestly, altcoins have been doing quite well. If we look at the 7-day chart here, we have Redo, which, you know, my favorite Telegram meme coin, up 100% over the week. This is off the news of the Telegram founder getting arrested. We have Citus up 51%. Amazing to see. And honestly, like, from being so bullish like I am on Ton Station Games, which they incubate, I think this is a really, overdue move. Like, with the amount of bullish stuff that's going on that side of their business with the Telegram narrative, this 51% pump doesn't surprise me. We have Prime up 44% this week. We have Superverse up 44% this week. Avalanche up 30% this week. So there's plenty across the board that we have been accumulating that is taking a nice leg up. But I do want to shout out quickly, last week on this show right here, we said, if you missed Ton, don't miss this trade. And we actually put in, at that point in time, a long position at about 140 on Sol. And that position now is looking pretty nice. I was on pretty high leverage, so I was feeling pretty confident about that trade now at 157. I haven't closed out the entire position, but I have taken major profit. Shout out to anyone who took that trade. It happened quite quickly just because of the market turnaround, but pretty good timing on that trade. So if you took that trade, let me know down below in the description. And I was just saying this, but veteran crypto degen, seeing people panic over sideways price action. You don't know about chop, right? So classic Wolf of Wall Street here. I just thought that this was absolutely hilarious. And as Crypto God John points out, we have the FTX repayments in October leading into the election, which seems like it should be the perfect storm for an explosive move across the entire market. Most of that FTX money, if I have to assume, is going to go back into the market because people had it in the market and they've just been waiting on it all this time. Unless someone had their life savings in there or something like that, like I totally see FTX money probably being reinvested into the market. And then around the election season with Trump and Kamala Harris, we'll see what happens. But I definitely do agree with this narrative. But let's dive into the bulk of the show here, obviously around the crypto gaming sector. And guys, I have been calling for weeks at this point. And if we go back once again on the videos here, it was right about here. This video here where we talked about off the grid very in depth. So the failing to buy these altcoins now will crush you later. That video, I exclaimed very descriptively that I think the gaming token sector is hitting a bottom. And what we have seen over the last few weeks is capitulation. We've seen dimensionals leave Web3. We've seen projects that are doing the right thing, getting more shine, like Off the Grid, Pirate Nation, Super Champs, Fableborn's crushing it. We have MapleStory coming out soon here on Avalanche. Like, there's so much good stuff happening in the space, and it's all kind of a perfect storm. If you're looking at the regular sector of crypto, the black swans that mark the bottom, right? FTX, Celsius, Lunas, whatever the case is, we kind of just had that. We had a project in Dimensionals who raised $15 million come through the space and say, hey, we're not cut out for this. And then they left Web3. And a lot of people were feeling like very bearish. Oh, this is not good. To me, that's a bottom indicator for the gaming sector. And like I had said, I pointed out, a lot of the positions we've been taking are looking very solid now. Echelon Prime, Superverse, we have Avalanche, Moon Tropica, Beam, all up substantial numbers over the last week. And as Elio says, gaming is about to melt faces. And before we jump into the main news of this show that kind of just shows the validity of what's going on in crypto gaming right now, we have to take a look at the fact that with gaming and with these like NFT announcements from major companies, most of them have flopped, right? Starbucks, Nike, a bunch of these things that have come through over time just haven't stuck. They didn't do it right, or they ended up also leaving Web3 because they just couldn't pull it off. But I think what we're seeing right now with this announcement, and we'll get into it with Sony. So Sony, who is behind the PlayStation 5, and this is a couple days old news, but for the gaming sector, this is absolutely massive. So on August 23rd, on my birthday, once again, these announcements, I don't think it's a coincidence, but introducing Soneium by Sony, Block Solutions Lab, building a public ETH Layer 2 next-gen blockchain ecosystem designed to invoke emotion and empower creativity. If we go through this kind of just an overarching thread of what you can expect here, we see first and foremost, their focus throughout a lot of this is kind of just mentioning their focus is entertainment, music, finance, and gaming. And obviously, being the creators of the PlayStation and up to now the PlayStation 5, I think that gaming will definitely be at the forefront of this. And this all correlates with the timing right now, where we see Off the Grid. It's on PlayStation. Like at this very moment in time, Off the Grid is playable on PlayStation. And then we see Sony coming through the door with their own blockchain. So who are they working with on this blockchain? Because I think what's also been important in the past is these entities that have come through the door, like Starbucks or like Nike, they stick to a single entity. But it looks like Sony has good advisors and is coming through the door with the right approach. They're going to be working with Aster Network, Alchemy, Chainlink, Circle, who's behind USDC. We have Optimism and The Graph. And if you guys can think back a long time ago, when I was really bullish on Polygon, there was a point in time where Polygon was leading the charge. And it was because this man right here was at the forefront, Ryan Wyatt, industry legend, esports GOAT. This man pioneered the Major League Gaming scene back in the day, good friends with 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and a lot of these other big influencers. Like, he's super well connected and tied into the gaming ecosystem. He had left Polygon. Polygon has since done nothing, and they got basically acquired by Immutable X. But we see Ryan Wyatt now is with Optimism. And Ryan Wyatt says, Optimism has rapidly become the leading solution for scaling on Ethereum. This partnership marks a significant moment for the superchain as we look forward to working closely with Sony Block Solutions Lab to make blockchain more accessible to users online. And yes, gaming is about to melt faces. We have one game leave the space that extracted money, etc. 3 days later, 4 days later, we get Sony coming through the door with their own blockchain. If you can't read through the lines here and see that gaming is literally about to explode, I don't know what to tell you. As we have mainstream hits like Off the Grid that's getting the most sentiment, getting so talked about online, and all the positions that we've put in during that time period. Like whenever on that same show, this one here, I had mentioned if you want exposure to Off the Grid, you want to get involved with Avalanche, Beam, and Super. And all three of those positions are up 25+% over the course of this week. And I don't think that this is going to slow down. I genuinely think gaming is a little too beaten down. I think the sentiment still is low. But if we continue to see the market start to surge, I know a lot of people in the industry are eyeing gaming as one of the sectors that is just way too cheap at this point in time. So I want to go over which games and which projects I still would potentially be buying in this market. Number one, I just want to give a shout out, and Web3 gaming's growing. Like I said, as we see capitulation and Sony coming to the door, kind of validating that crypto gaming is here to stay, we see Parallel, Pixelmon, Immutable, The Bournless, and many other games here showing out at Gamescom, one of the biggest conferences for gaming in the entire world. So it's just great to see that crypto gaming is not a fad. It's not a scam. A lot of people, even in the comment section of this show, which is centered around crypto gaming tokens, just show so much signs that like they don't think this industry is going to make it. But more than anything, I think today I've never been more confident in the outlook that we have in the gaming sector. So number one, to me, undervalued token right now in the market, and just about a year ago this thing started ripping, and that's Echelon Prime. Echelon Prime, if you look at some of the stuff from these players, like hardcore TCG fans, they're loving Parallel. They're going over the different strategies. Like, people are genuinely jumping in and enjoying this game. And what you have to remember is they delayed the unlocks until 2025. So for me, I think, I've said it multiple times throughout this cycle, I think Prime, number one, it's heating back up. It's up 20% over the last day. It's up 45% this week. And we've been screaming to buy Prime ever since it was at $2.77 a year ago. But now we're sitting at about $8. We were mentioning it down here as well at like $5-6. But I still think under $10, Echelon Prime is a fantastic addition to your portfolio. And I think that this will be trading at $50 to $100 by the end of this cycle. Like, the market cap at $50 is just $1.8 billion for one of the biggest crypto games this cycle. I think that's a no-brainer personally, and I totally see Echelon Prime trading between $50 and maybe even $100 by the end of the cycle. Number two would be Avalanche. I think Avalanche still $26. This was trading at $62 just a mere matter of months ago. I would definitely be looking at AVAX. I would say Superverse, but it's up 45% this week. But just like Echelon Prime, I'm still very bullish. So I would say Prime, Super, Avalanche, Beam, and I would be looking at Ronin. If we're looking for Ronin on this list, it's like where is the number one gaming blockchain in the entire industry? And it's lagging behind. It's only up 6% this week. So for me, I would be looking at the strength. So I still think you're not late to Beam, Super, AVAX, Prime. But I think Ronin is definitely the dark horse in this race right now, only up 6% over the week time period. And then if you're trying to front run the AI narrative right now, so I'm sticking to my core gaming thesis. And what you should really study, go back to some of my videos from last year around this time, from last November, and from this past February. What you'll notice is when the market gets hot, you go down the ladder into these lower market cap tokens. So I know what a lot of you are probably going to say. We want a new token. Where's the alpha? The alpha is to stick to the top coins in the market right now because gaming has been so beat down. Let those run up, and I guarantee you those low market cap tokens are still going to be there for your liking. And if we're talking about low market caps, if you want riskier quote unquote plays at this level, I think Wilder World with their airdrop campaign that they're doing and everything coming to market right now, Wilder World is absolutely one of my top tier positions as far as individual games. And at a $60 million market cap, that's a no brainer. I think Carrot with My Pet Hooligan, they have an AI narrative and the gaming narrative with their partnerships with Palantir and NVIDIA at 44 million is definitely a very good buy. And then I think Moon Tropica and Crown at 26 and 27 million. That would be my low cap more degen bets at this point in time in the market, but I'm just sticking to the quality, guys. Like, there's no reason to switch up what we're doing while we feel like the market is about to explode in the gaming sector. Let our top plays grow, cycle some of those profits down below into the lower market caps, and those will flip very quickly if we play it right. And then if we're looking at the AI market heading into NVIDIA earnings, I think Tau and Render are the two no-brainers, but I think the one that's shown to run the hardest whenever NVIDIA runs is GPU. So that's where I would be looking. So for gaming right now, I'm keeping it simple. Super, AVAX, Ronin, I'm looking at Prime, and I'm looking at Beam. If I'm going lower market caps, I'm looking at Crown, I'm looking at Moon Tropica, Carrot, and I'm looking at Wilder World. In the AI sector, I'm keeping it very, very simple. Render, Tau, GPU, and maybe if I want a little more risky taste, I'm going with Neural AI. This one's catching the eyes of a lot of the big AI creators, and I think it could be a big-time sleeper in your portfolio on the AI side. So that's going to wrap it up for gaming and AI. But let's jump into memes, because there is a meme narrative going on right now that people can't ignore, and that is Tron. And look, Tron right now is literally an unstoppable train. If you look at the Sundog chart just by itself, let's go look at Sundog. It's at $300 million market cap. Tron is now currently in the top 10 as far as tokens in this market by market cap. And I think it's going to play out similarly to other chains. So what we've seen with other chains is there's a big meme coin boom, a little bit of an explosion in the meme coin sector. But what happens is a few tokens simply start running, and then after a while, what happens is 99% of them end up going to zero. And honestly speaking, I think that the same thing's going to happen here. If we look at Base, we look at ETH, we look at Sol, we look at any of these other chains that have had a major meme coin narrative, what happens is 1,000 meme coins are created, maybe 5 to 10, maybe 10 run really hard, but even out of those 10, you're only going to see maybe 2 to 5 really stick. And across multiple chains, we've seen Pepe and let's say Mog for the cycles example. On Sol, you have Bonk and Whiff. Yeah, Ponky, I think you could say has stuck around. A lot of the other stuff like Billy and Wolf, they've pumped and then they've kind of consolidated and are losing their narrative a little bit. I think the same thing's going to play out with Tron. And if I'm looking at the Tron market right now, objectively, I think a dog coin and a cat coin makes a lot of sense. So I think Sundog is the clear winner, is at 300 million market cap. I'm pretty sure this will hit $1 billion, given the fact of, let's just go look where Tron is. Number one meme coin on a chain like Tron, which is 14 billion by market cap. I think that Sundog definitely has the chance to be by far the biggest on the chain. It already is, but I think it's a dog narrative. It plays into Justin Sun. That one's an easy pick. And then Muncat. I think Muncat is a sleeper. It's about a $22 million market cap right now. Every chain needs a dog and a cat. It's been proven over time, and I think that these two would be my bets. Safe play would be Sundog, and then the second play, which is a little more degenerate, would be Muncat. But always diving into the meme coin market. Those are where I'm taking on new coins. All right, so everyone always is like, what about new gaming alpha? Well, okay, the problem is the gaming space, you don't want to invest in new coins because of the vesting. So like what you've seen over time is all of these new launches and gaming basically do nothing but grind down. Not going to pick on anyone here, but there's examples that we have to, make. And everyone's always like, hustle, what about a new gaming coin? I've researched thousands of gaming tokens. I have invested in thousands, hundreds of them throughout the cycles, right? From last cycle to this cycle to I've invested early stage into over 75 projects this cycle. But what we've seen, like Planet Mojo, has gone from 24 cents to 2 cents. It's a 90% drop. We see stuff like Portal. Portal was the biggest launch winner of the entire year in gaming. It was a 55x on launch. You look at that yearly chart from 260 down to 30 cents. That's 87% drop. So right now, I'm not going to give you new gaming tokens because that is just not the way to roll. But with memes, the advantage that you have is most of the time they're fully diluted. So you don't have to play the risk game of, oh, I love this project. Okay, so do I think that there's been great projects that have launched? Absolutely. I think that Nyan Heroes is a great game, but the price action hasn't been strong because of the fact of the vesting. So when investors are getting those unlocks, there's a lot of sell pressure. But with meme coins, what you see is they're fully diluted. There's no sell pressure from early investors. So that's massive. So right now, I've stuck to my core competencies on gaming. I'm not looking to trickle down into some degen coin at the bottom of the ladder, but I'm also not looking to get involved with a new coin with a bunch of vesting and unlocks when I know how that plays out, right? So the only 2 coins, 3 maybe, that I would invest in that are news cycle tokens are Carrot, Pirate, and Aether. Those are the 3 with the strongest vesting that I think could actually still make you money from today's prices. Otherwise, guys, there's no reason for me to jump in and give you new degenerate gaming coins that just launched yesterday. That's not the market that we're playing in. But on meme coins, that's where it is. So I'm always giving meme plays because they're always popping up. They're new, they're fully diluted, they're healthier for a new investor to get involved in and not get dumped on. But for gaming, man, I'm sticking with what I know is these are gonna be winners throughout the cycle. There have been too many rugs. There have been too many false promises in the gaming sector for you to continue to degen these small market cap coins that are going to let you down at the end of the cycle. So I'm sticking to the number 1 stuff, the AVAXs, IMXs, the RONs, the supers, the primes, the beams. Those are going to make your money throughout this cycle. Whenever it gets to the time that the market's super frothy, you can play in low caps. But for now, it's not the time for that. But what is in right now is meme coins. And I'm looking at Sundog and Muncat to continue their growth in the Tron narrative before I think we pivot back to the Sol trenches. And then inevitably, I think Binance Smart Chain has a run when CZ gets out. And then last but not least, let's shout out our sponsors here on In the Game. We have On Me with their Omi character. So their limited founders NFT is going live soon. You can literally, there's like every one of these is a unique NFT character with exclusive rewards in their AR world. They have a solid starter body, rare offering better rewards, epic with significant advantages, and legendary, the most powerful and exclusive. And there's different benefits like mining rewards, early access, enhanced value, and their mint date is on September 5th. So just a couple weeks from now, there's 500 NFTs that are going to be selling at $150. So I think it's a pretty good proposition. Their apps are live on iOS and Android right now. You can check those out down below in the link in the description. And as I mentioned, guys, look, I get it. The market's a bit boring right now, as are the plays. Like, there's people that just invest in Bitcoin. There's people that just invest in Ethereum or Solana or only blue chips or only things on Coinbase. But I'm sticking to what is going to be winners right now at this point in the market because there's no reason to take adverse risk on super small market caps. We'll get to that point in the cycle and we'll start multiplying some of these low caps 5, 10, 20x just like we did 6 months ago. But until that time comes, we're going to stack up our top plays. We're going to keep you informed what's up to date in the market. And we'll have a little fun in the meme coin market in the meantime. But Sony has entered the chat, and I don't think Web3 gaming is going anywhere. So guys, let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on Sony joining the space, where crypto gaming is right now. Do you think we've hit a recent local bottom with the capitulation of dimensionals, but then the entrance of Sony and everything we're seeing with off the grid and a lot of these solid projects? And what do you think about the meme coin narrative right now between Tron, Sol, Binance Smart Chain potentially lingering? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends.